I agree with a lot of what my friend Jim Highland said. When you look at the Dillon Rule, I think there's certainly some flexibilities that should be built in to allow these local jurisdictions to be able to address some of the problems that are locally in their communities that they're better equipped to address because they understand them better. The second part of that, though, is that we have to be careful about how much flexibility we give, so that in jurisdictions where there is dense capacity, like here in Northern Virginia, we don't allow local jurisdictions to create a patchwork of regulations or approaches to handling things that puts our businesses and our citizens who live here at disadvantages, because they've got to keep track of 6 different ways that they run their businesses in the counties, or 6 different things that they got to keep track of across the various jurisdictions as they travel. So while I'd like to see some flexibility there, we've got to do it in a measured way and an approach kind of way, and make sure that it makes sense and that we're not creating more problems as we grant that flexibility than we thought we were going to get. We need to be strategic about it and think what's going to be the impact on this in the short term and the long term, and do it very carefully.
I agree with a lot of what has just been said. I think you touched on 2 important core questions. One is, when is Northern Virginia going to get back more of its tax dollars? And the other one has to do with the relationship between localities and the legislature. I think we need to work right now to create a partnership. It doesn't necessarily have to do with legislation. There has to be a working partnership between the people you elect to represent you here and the people you elect to represent you in Richmond. We don't have that now. They act as 2 independent bodies. And as a locally elected official, I understand the value of working closely with the legislature, yet maintaining some independence for our locality. And I also think that it's time for us to start planning regionally. The differences between Northern Virginia and Southern Virginia are huge. And we need to acknowledge that and begin to plan in a way that accounts for those differences.